Welcome back. We almost didn't have an episode today because I got distracted in the research. I really went into a rabbit hole there. Do any of you ever do that? I did finally remember why I was on the computer and got back to the task at hand and made some notes for another day. Anyway, here we are back on August 20th. And we have a word, a historical event, a couple of birthdays, a song, and a quote. So grab your favorite cup, settle in, and let's have a look. Hi there, and welcome to This Day in History for August 20th. August 20th is the 232nd day of the year in the Gregorian calendar, 233rd in leap years, with 133 days remaining to the end of the year. Today's word is Deign. It sounds like Deign, which is a person from Denmark, but today we're talking about Deign. Deign is a verb, and Merriam-Webster's definition says, to think it appropriate to one's dignity. In practical terms, it means to condescend to do something, usually something one considers beneath their dignity or status, as in, she did not deign to answer his question. As in, she felt that answering was beneath her and she chose not to do it. Deign usually appears in a somewhat negative or ironic context, emphasizing pride, arrogance, or disdain. These days, we're more likely to see it in a more literary, formal, or slightly sarcastic speech, and usually followed by an infinitive, as in to do something, like deign to do something, deign to answer the door, deign to step outside, deign to, to do something, as in he wouldn't deign to apologize, or she wouldn't even deign to glance in his direction, or the professor rarely deigned to answer questions outside of class hours. The word deign comes to us through Middle English, Old French before that, originally from Latin dignus, which meant worthy. First known use of the word deign is in the 1300s. Deign. The word Deign was requested by Adam Bauer. Thanks, Adam. Unfortunately, I have misplaced a screenshot of that request, but I remembered it. And if you have a word you'd like to see in this Word of the Day segment, drop it in the comments and we'll check it out. And with that, this is the birthday of 23rd President of the United States, Benjamin Harrison, born August 20, 1833 in North Bend, Ohio. Interestingly, Benjamin Harrison was the grandson of the 9th President of the United States, William Henry Harrison, and great-grandson of Benjamin Harrison V, who signed the Declaration of Independence. Today's Benjamin Harrison won the presidency against the incumbent Grover Cleveland in the Electoral College while losing the popular vote. 6 Western states were added to the Union during Harrison's presidency. He substantially strengthened and modernized the U.S. Navy and was behind legislation in antitrust, monetary policy, and tariffs. Benjamin Harrison served 1 term and lived to the age of 67. Benjamin Harrison. Lou Gehrig hit his 23rd career Grand Slam on August 20th, 1938, setting a record that stood for 75 years until Alex Rodriguez surpassed that number in 2013. This is the birthday of English singer-songwriter Robert Plant, born August 20th, 1948 in West Bromwich, Staffordshire, England. He started playing with various bands as a teenager. In 1968, guitarist Jimmy Page was looking for a lead singer for his new band, and someone directed him to a show where he saw Robert Plant singing. The two met, hit it off, and the band that would become Led Zeppelin got off the ground. Jimmy encouraged Robert to take a go at writing lyrics, and he did. Many of those early songs allude to mythology, particularly Norse mythology. Robert was also influenced by the writing of J.R.R. Tolkien, resulting in such songs as The Battle of Evermore, Misty Mountain Hop, and Ramble On, to name a few. He also wrote songs with blues themes. The group Led Zeppelin consisted of singer Robert Plant, guitarist Jimmy Page, bassist John Paul Jones, and drummer John Bonham, and were quite successful. But when John Bonham passed in September of 1980, they just couldn't bear to continue, and Led Zeppelin disbanded. Robert Plant seriously considered leaving music and becoming a teacher. I think he would have made a good teacher, but I think he serves humanity better by being a singer. And people in the music biz encouraged him to pursue a solo career in music, which he did, and that has gone very well for him. Whether singing solo or with others, Robert Plant continues to entertain his existing fans and gain new fans, and turns 77 in 2025. Happy birthday, Robert Plant. Since it is Robert Plant's birthday, of course we'll talk about a song of his. Very musical guy, and goodness, he stays busy. I've talked before about Stairway to Heaven and have separated that out and placed it in my single subject playlist called How About That? Link in the description. And back in the episode for July 23rd of 2025, I talked about the song Can't Let Go, which he performed with Alison Krauss. Today, though, let's talk about Ship of Fools by Robert Plant. Ship of Fools is the third single from his fourth solo studio album, Now and Zen, released in August of 1988. Written by Robert Plant and Phil Johnstone, Ship of Fools reached the top 100 in the UK singles chart, as well as the Billboard Hot 100, and number 3 on Billboard's mainstream rock chart, making it Robert Plant's 10th top 10 solo hit on the mainstream rock chart. Ship of Fools is described as a lovely ballad with beautiful melodies and power lyrics, and is highly regarded by fans and music industry folks. If you happen to be a fan of the TV show Miami Vice back in the day, you might have heard Ship of Fools as a musical accompaniment in the final 2-hour episode of Miami Vice called Free Fall. Ship of Fools by Robert Plant, link in the description. How about that? As I was looking for a quote today, it felt like I wanted something about music, and I found this lovely quote by cellist, composer, and conductor Pablo Casals, who said, "Music is the divine way to tell beautiful, poetic things to the heart." Pablo Casals. Alrighty, y'all take care. Be good to each other. I'll see you next time. So, grab your favorite cuppa. Why is that acting like a green screen? We don't need it to act like a green screen. No green screen. Yeah, there we go. Okay, we're going to do that whole thing over. Oh. Okay, I jumped a line there, so let's back up a bit. And I think that's going to do it for us today. Thank you so much for watching. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Feel free to share this video with a link in your email, messaging, or social media. If you enjoy this series, you can check out the playlists in the description. You can find me on BitChute, Facebook, Odyssey, Rumble, YouTube, and X, as well as on a blog page called No Really. No Really. No Really. Consider following my Day in History page on Facebook if you're on Facebook. I also have a Patreon account now, or you can buy me a coffee. All those links are in the description. Alrighty, that's all I can think of right now. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.